My name is Theophilus, and I was married and divorced in just 30 days. And this was because I was all spirituality without any practicality. And now I coach high-performing Christian men to marry and pursue a godly and attractive wife using biblical principles that actually work. Every year, Christian men marry women they're not really attracted to and say it's being godly. But here's what could actually happen. They slowly lose respect for themselves, they gain weight, they fantasize about cheating with other women, their walk with God gets weaker, and they quietly resent the woman they promised to love. I know because I almost became that man. I almost married a woman I really wasn't attracted to. And if I hadn't gotten out, I'd probably be a miserable Christian husband sneaking around in sin right now. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through how that story really plays out over 10 to 20 years. How I almost lived it.
And I'm going to share the woman's side, because when a man settles for you, we really feel it. And it is one of the most painful things you can really do to a daughter of God.
Let me start with my story. I dated a woman who from the outside looked like the ideal Christian girl. Good career, treated me well, we talked about God often, and it seemed like she loved God as well. I convinced myself that meant she was kind and loyal and that this was the kind of woman I should be with. But if I'm honest, I was never really attracted to her at the level you need for a lifetime marriage. She was overweight, so over time, I gained weight too. My confidence dropped and my energy was lower. I stopped feeling like a man on a mission and more like a guy that was just existing. Believe me, I told myself all the spiritual lines. Looks aren't everything. Attraction is shallow. This is what sacrifice looks like. But underneath that, I felt trapped. And here's the darkest part. Even while I was telling myself I was being noble, I started secretly fantasizing about cheating. I would fantasize about being with women I was genuinely drawn to. So on the outside, I was staying because I didn't want to be superficial. But on the inside, my heart was already drifting to sin.
As a wife, let me tell you how that feels like on the other side. You are giving your whole heart to this man, planning your life around him. And he's physically there, but you can feel that he is not really choosing you. You feel it when he doesn't pursue you, and you can feel the low effort. You can also feel it when he hesitates when it comes to physical intimacy. We blame ourselves. Maybe if I lose weight, maybe if I can be more spiritual, maybe if I try harder, maybe then he'll want me. So when a man stays to be nice and he feel like he's protecting her, he's actually killing her self-confidence and self-worth slowly.
I almost proposed. I almost locked us both into a life where I keep pretending. She'd keep trying, and one day, eventually, I would crack under needs that I refused to be honest about. When I finally ended it, a different side came out. She was deeply hurt and reacted in ways that from my perspective seemed like trying to punish me for leaving, harming my reputation, and even making it harder for me to move on in a new relationship and engagement. I'm not gonna share the details because we don't need to go there. And her side of the story was real too. Her pain was real, and I stayed too long, sending mixed signals, and I wasn't honest about my attraction or my doubts. My lack of courage didn't just hurt me, it helped create the level of bitterness where she didn't want me to move forward. And that's what settling does. It multiplies damage later. Settling can seem noble, but here's what it really is. It's making a woman think you're choosing her for life, when inside, you're hoping you magically start feeling something you don't. That's not holiness. That's deception. You're not avoiding sin. You're just scheduling multiple later. Porn, fantasies, late night DMs with women you're attracted to, then eventually adultery or resentful dead marriage.
And when the truth finally comes out, it feels like robbery. Because she gave you her youth, her loyalty, her body, maybe her children, and then find out you're never actually fully in. That's why some women go scorched earth in divorce. It's not always crazy. It's years of feeling unloved and being lied to.
Second, you lose yourself. Every time you roll over in bed and you see her, you feel nothing but obligation. And it's like a small piece of your self-respect dies. And eventually you start thinking, maybe I'm broken because I want to be attracted to my wife. You're not broken. You're just not being honest with yourself.
And you train yourself to live as two men. The godly, nice guy in public and the frustrated, checked out husband in private. That split bleeds into everything. Your leadership, your parenting, and even your relationship with God.
Third, your lifestyle slowly falls apart. When the woman you're with doesn't value her health, well-being, excellence, you drift down too. That was me. Her diet became my diet. Her habits became my habits. I looked in the mirror and didn't even recognize the man I saw. You try to pull her up, but if she doesn't want to pull herself up, eventually you're both gonna sink. Then add kids to the picture. Now it's your son watching a dad who's half present. Your daughter growing up thinking Christian marriage is duty with no delight, covenant with no passion. You thought you took the easy path by marrying the first godly woman who was available. In reality, you chose the most painful path possible for everyone. If you're in a relationship like this, or you're about to propose, and there's a knot in your gut that you keep ignoring, this is literally what I walk men through in my 6-month Godly Wife Blueprints mentorship. We look at, are you settling? Are your standards godly or porn derived? And how do you become the man who can attract and lead a woman you're truly drawn to? If you want help with that, there's a link in the description to apply for a call. Let me be clear. This is not a license to chase perfection or Instagram bodies. There's a difference between hypersexualized, porn-inflated standards and healthy, genuine, godly attraction. You don't need a trophy wife, but you do need to be honestly attracted to the woman you marry. You shouldn't have to constantly try to convince yourself. If you keep repeating looks aren't everything just to stay, that's a red flag.
I second that.
2 red flags.
As a woman, I would rather my husband not marry me than marry me and secretly wishing I was somebody else. That's not loving. That's selfish. The most honoring thing a man can do is tell the truth about what he's drawn to. Become the kind of man who can attract that. Choose a woman he can actually cherish in body, soul, and spirit.
So your job is not to lower your standards until you finally get married, God forbid. Your job is to raise yourself until you're the kind of man that can actually meet a godly, attractive woman and actually hold that blessing physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. If you settle, you don't avoid pain. You just make sure it comes later, much bigger, with more people involved. You're bound to feel trapped, tempted to cheat, resent her, and slowly become a more mediocre version of yourself. And one day, you'll either explode your marriage or live in quiet misery. Neither of those honors God.
And sisters pay for that with years of their time that they can never get back. And it's going to take many more years for them to heal. So if you're a man feeling that check in your spirit, please don't ignore it. Please do the hard, honest thing now. It hurts less than the destruction that comes later.
If you're a high-performing Christian man, strong in work and faith, but behind in dating and marriage readiness, and you feel pressure to pick whoever is available so you're not alone, you don't have to figure this out alone. Inside my 6-month Godly Wife Blueprint mentorship, we get brutally honest about whether you're settling, build you into the kind of man who can attract the woman you're actually drawn to, create a real framework to meet godly women without games or compromise. If you want my eyes and my wife's perspective on your situation, there's a link below to apply. Fill it out, we'll talk, and if it's a good fit, we'll map out your next 12 to 24 months together. Don't become the man who did the Christian thing and secretly ruined his life and hers. Become the man who tells the truth and builds a marriage that's both holy and honest.
We're praying for you, so please make the hard, right choice now.
And guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Happy New Year. Thank you guys for being subscribed to the channel. If you're not, hit that button, hit the bell icon, and we'll see you guys next time with some more content. Peace out.